Most people hate budgeting, like hate with a capital H. But you know that if you want to build wealth, you need to grow the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And that requires being a little bit more conscientious about what you're spending. So I'm really excited to speak with our guest today. Whitney Elkins-Hutton is the founder of Ash Wealth. She's also the author of Money for Tomorrow: How to Build and Protect Generational Wealth. And Whitney, you came out swinging saying that budgeting is dead. So make that case for us. And if budgeting is dead, then what should you be doing instead?
Thank you so much for having me on today, Brian. And in my book, Money for Tomorrow, what I help lead investors through is understanding what are those true strategies that are going to get you wealthy. And it means going back to the basics. Again, like you said, how do we understand that relationship and build that gap between income and expenses? Now, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman would have you believe that you just go line by line through your expenses and just try to lower everything, right?
Stop eating the avocado toast.
Stop eating the avocado toast. Everybody should stop eating out. Lower your grocery bill. And there's some merit to that. I think people who are grossly upside down may be there, but at some point in time, you're going to be in a pretty comfortable position and you might take your foot off the gas, right? You're just like, I can't stand to look at this anymore. But it's just like practicing soccer. We have to continue to practice the basics. You still have to run around the field, dribble the ball, shoot on goal, pass to other people, and mastering the basics is the foundation that's going to get you wealthy. So I have everybody start off making sure that you have a tool that makes this automatic. I personally love simplify.com. Empower.com is a free tool out there, but we want to automatically track your income and expenses. All right. This is where it goes off the rails for most people. They're trying to create a budget, but I want you to get in relationship here, really a huge relationship. So I want to go through, I have my investors go through their expenses and I have them put them in one of four categories. Is it a destructive expense like drugs, alcohol, credit card fees, excessive addictive shopping? A lot of my investors, I had them take Amazon.com off their phone, right? And just put some barriers in place. I want you to label like expenses that if they're protective, like insurances, legal fees, tax fees, are they productive? Meaning that if you spend $1 on that expense, you're going to get at least two out. Those protective, those three categories, okay, we've got destructive, get rid of the destructive at all costs. That is burning your wealth. It doesn't matter who you are, how much you make. The protective and productive, ask yourself, do you need that expense? And how can you optimize that? Okay, don't sacrifice protection or production, but can you optimize that? One thing might be your internet bill. You work from home. Great. Can you take it from $180 a month down to $50 a month? Stuff like that. But that leaves us with a fourth category, the consumptive category. And this is where I think a lot of people don't want to be told what to do. Don't tell me to stop going out to eat. Don't tell me that I can't travel anymore. So I lead people through an exercise that I call the happiness formula. Because really, our consumptive expenses should center around building happiness for us. What are those experiences that you want to have? How do you want to grow? And how do you want to give back? Now, here's the thing. A lot of this, you might have a partner or a spouse. I know I have a husband and I have a child. So I have to do this exercise for each one of those because we have a combined household budget. And so I need to balance what makes everybody happy. But when you start really defining what those experiences that you want to have, it can be free things like having just friends over for dinner. Maybe it's traveling, going to a local play or a show, or traveling nationally or internationally. Once you have that defined, now you can look at your consumptive budget and go, wow, I value travel, but I spend an incredible amount of money on groceries and buying clothes, none of which feed my happiness for travel. So now you have a plan of attack. Now you can go to those areas in your consumptive or lifestyle budget and really start moving the needle.
I love it. And you're speaking my language here, talking about how different people in the household can have very different values. My wife has very different values around money than I do, and it does set up some conflict around what we spend money on because her priorities for spending are very different than my priorities for spending. So I'm curious if you have any tips for people who are in that boat, especially married couples or other people who cohabitate and are sharing a budget. How do you get on the same page when one person wants to go spend all their money on shopping and clothes and the other person wants to go spend all their money on travel?
It's really interesting because I think if you went through the happiness exercise, what floats to the top is the clothes and the shopping probably aren't of value. There's probably an underlying value there that they like looking nice for work or looking nice when they go out for X, say like a show or on a date. And so again, it's how do we get a relationship? Okay. So having a little budget to buy a nice dress and a nice pair of shoes, maybe like once a quarter or once every 6 months. So you actually look nice for the thing that you want to do and the thing that you actually value. That's what we're trying to uncover. Okay. Most people, I have yet to have a client that I've worked with, and I've worked with hundreds of people that says, I value shopping. Says no one. It's that value, that behavior is usually attached to something else that it is a true value. Now, how do you reconcile the differences? Exactly. Do that exercise. Do it for yourself, do it with your spouse, or sometimes you have to like hoodwink them if they don't like doing this personal development work. You need to just, on a car trip, hey, like, where do you want to travel in the next year? What experiences do you want to have? And then write them down, take notes. So you get these lists, and then you start contributing or allocating funds to the things that make all of you happy. And then you start creating budgets for, say, budget for me. I love doing mountain races. My husband loves mountain biking. My daughter loves climbing. I'm going to allocate some money to my mountain races. I'm going to allocate some money to my husband's mountain biking. I'm going to allocate some money to my daughter's climbing. And then we just have to leave it alone and then focus on everything else that we can control.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And there's so much value to those kinds of structured exercises like you're referring to, and just having people frame some of these questions in an organized way because otherwise it's so easy to just get vague about that. Oh yeah, yeah, I want to travel eventually, but yeah, having these exercises can really make it much clearer what your priorities are and what your partner's priorities are. So Whitney, I love all of that. In 30 seconds or less, how do you help people and how can people connect with you if they want to take you up on that help?
Yeah, I help high net worth income people and small business owners take their income and their savings and turn it into passive income and long-term wealth. And so you can find me at ashwealth.com, ashwealth.com. And there I have a free guide for you how to find 50K in hidden capital to invest.
Awesome. Guys, if you got a fresh perspective out of this quick episode, subscribe for more awesomeness twice a week. Pay it forward, passing it along to friends, family members, colleagues. And lastly, consider joining our co-investing club. We work with people like Whitney to invest. We get together every month and we invest together in different projects for that passive income that Whitney's talking about. So on that note, stay weird, unconventional investor, and we'll catch you next time.